Good evening. I'm Landon with Mermaid and Press. Today we're going to talk about cordage. So I got a question recently about paracord and its many uses. I break cordage down into two categories. Cordage I don't give a shit about, and cordage that I may have to depend some serious life altering decisions to. So this is paracord. This is just regular paracord. There's nothing special about it. If you don't know much about paracord, it is built usually one way. It's several small strands and usually like a big core surrounded by a nylon sheath. And the nylon sheath is meltable so that you can fuse the ends really easy if you cut it. And typically 550 pounds. If you get the brand 550 cord, it's 550 pounds per one full strand of this. There are other brands that hold more. There are other brands that have like survival stuff in them, like fishing line and fire starter. We will get to that in a minute. But I carry, this is one piece for my shelter kit. This is about 10, 13 feet of paracord. As you can see, it's frayed, it's crappy, it's been used, and it's only 10 feet. So if you know anything about knot tying and ropes, every time you tie a knot in a rope, it becomes weaker. So I don't want to string this out with 12 other 10-foot pieces of rope and then have to rappel from it. Or, an emergency rappel. I keep about 100 feet in my pack, uncut, for a few reasons. One, I can get out of like a second story, third story of a building if I absolutely have to, and it will support my weight. Another thing, you might just need 100 feet of cord. There's not many things you can substitute in your pack for 100 feet of paracord. You typically don't carry 100 feet of duct tape. It's not how much people carry. Duct tape's really heavy and hard to store, but this is really easy to store. It's also really easy to cut. In the old days, if you cut somebody's rope, I'm pretty sure somebody would have whooped your ass because it was hard to make and hard to come by. I don't like cutting my rope. I like to keep it as long as I can. Now, given this is some old crappy stuff, so I cut it up, and there's 4 pieces on my tarp, and this is part of the ridge line. So having some long pieces of paracord that are old are somewhat disposable, right? You can make a quick lashing and things like that. If you know anything about lashing and knot tying, this is something you're going to have to look up on your own. But this I would consider survival permanent cordage, right? I would tie something I need to stay tight for a long time, or something that I need the rope back for. The survival stuff that has the fishing line and the fire starter in it, well, it really doesn't matter how much of that you have to cut it up to get the pieces out. So you're turning good rope into crap rope in a heartbeat. Just taking one strand out of it, it sounds easy, it might be easy, but you're weakening that rope. I have 7 different methods of fire starting in my pack. I don't need fishing line if I have a roll of fishing line that costs me $1 and weighs nothing. So the survival cordage, I think it's a cool idea. It'd be something cool for a survival kit. Maybe you cut 10 feet of it and put it in a kit, but it's not what I would depend on. Just regular 550 cord pieces if you need it at all. Now, this is expensive compared to this. So this is number 36 tarred braided bank line. If you've never heard of bank line, you've clearly never listened to Dave Canterbury before. He is addicted to this stuff. This is disposable cordage. So I don't know how much this is. As you can see, it's a big old hank of it. This is probably 20 of my arm spans worth, and then I just knotted it up, threw it in my pack. This is good for shelter building, snare making, 100 different uses. Also, I don't care about getting this back, and I don't care about cutting it up. I haven't fused it it all. It's tarred, so it kind of catches on itself. It's sticky in that matter. It's not like sticky. But if you know anything about bank line and you have a multi-tool, you'll know that if you grab one side of that bank line and pull into your knot, that tar and everything kind of mashes that knot together. It becomes really tight. It also becomes permanent at that point because you can't really get whatever you used back out of it. And it's not like you would want to, right? It's not like you would want any of this back. So this comes in a spool of like a gajillion feet. I got my pieces out of it, and it looks like I took nothing off the spool. So I can put one of these in every pack. And if I carry my pack and my belt kit, I have two of them. That's a lot of shelter building. So disposable cordage, duct tape and whatnot as well, comes in handy. There's mule tape and tubular nylon and 100 different ways to tie stuff down. This is the cheapest, and for what you're buying, it is one of the most versatile. I love paracord, I love mule tape, I love tubular nylon. All of those things have one thing in common. I don't want to leave it in the woods or cut it. So I hope that answers that question. Cordage is one of those many things that you're going to have to train on. So maybe we'll talk about that one day out of the Boy Scout Handbook, which I have an appendix in on. Hard chargers, go back, watch that video, buy the Scout Handbook, read it. There's 100 things in there that you might not have even considered training on that will make sense once you read the book. So this is going away. I want to thank everybody for all your support. I know last video was kind of serious, and it's because I'm passionate about these things, and I want you, my favorite viewer, to survive whatever encounters in life you come through, right? So, some news. Your boy is kind of shadow banned and reported on Instagram, and it's kind of leaking over here. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. But I like going live, and I know some of y'all like to see the live videos on Instagram. They will come back. I'm working on it. So stay tuned, stay patient. I'm going to try to put a video or two up there, just uploading 5 minutes of whatever I talk about. So we'll try that in the meantime. That way there's something coming out on Instagram. I also got a new studio light. I'm going to be toying with it. I think I'm just going to be using it more for effects if I have the gumption to shoot another short, which I do. So I'm going to get on board with actual filming, which is just weird to me. But again, thanks for all your support, guys. Find out what's killing you. Go kick its ass. Hug your families. And stay safe, guys. I'm going to get out here and try to swat some cicadas out of the air, I guess. Bats flying around here.